Election coverage starts now.
Now, real quick, we have some breaking news out of Okolona we need to get to real quick. Police Chief Tommy Ivy there says that one person is dead and a possible suspect is in custody. This after a deadly shooting. Chief Ivy said it happened around 6 o'clock this evening. He says that it appears two people were in an argument when a gun was then pulled and shots were fired on Chenault Street. Now, no names are being released at this time. That shooting remains under investigation. Stay with WCBI and WCBI.com. Well, controversial comments, the constant bombardment of political ads, and a dramatic debate. The weeks of campaigning ends today as voters go to the polls. Now, at the top of the ballot was the Senate special election. Now, this race has been drawing national attention, even bringing the President Donald Trump to the state on two separate occasions. Now, right now, here to look at those numbers. Democrat Mike Espy still falling behind Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith. Now, we do know that Cindy Hyde-Smith has won her county, and at last check, it was at 56 to 44%. There you see Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith taking the lead. Well, it's been a busy election season, both the general election and today's runoff. For more on what's behind the numbers and what happens next starting tomorrow, we go over to Andrea Self and our political analyst, Dr. Brian Anderson at Election Central. Hey, guys.
All right, Scott, thanks a lot. So, Dr. Anderson, again, first of all, thanks for being here, staying up late with us. Sure. We're looking at those numbers. Mike Espy trailing Senator Hyde-Smith. Is that too big a deficit at this point to overcome, do you think?
Well, probably. Mm-hmm. You know, the Espy camp needed to be even with Hyde-Smith from the get-go and be able to not necessarily win particular counties that he didn't win on November 6th, but at least have a better showing. And this gap, we're just going to have to watch it. It might just get too big. If
you look at a map, the map is already, it's pretty red when you look at it right now. Right. Hyde-Smith took most of the coastal counties, really most of South Mississippi, which was expected.
It was. And Mississippi being so rural, other than the Delta, which is pretty solidly Democratic, you're going to see a lot of red on the map. And that works very well for Hyde-Smith because the Republicans do a very good job of appealing to rural white voters. One
of the key components here was going to be the supporters of Chris McDaniel. That's and right. Really they were going to maybe decide this thing. That's so right. They had the option of jumping ship from the Republican Party and voting for Mike Espy, or maybe staying home for those who didn't necessarily jive with Cindy Hyde-Smith. Right.
But the appearance yesterday of Donald Trump in the state probably charged them up to say, well, you know, Senator Hyde-Smith is, you know, probably the person we want to support. And really the Republican strength on the coast made it, I would think, relatively easy for Senator Hyde-Smith to appeal to McDaniel's supporters because McDaniel's base is near the coast, and so it wasn't like she had to make a real, you know, extensive effort to appeal to them.
Right. And as you and I spoke yesterday, and they may come back to us shortly, there was really nothing to gain necessarily for the Republican Party here because they already had the majority in the Senate. But it more was a statement on the president's job, maybe, or how people are feeling about him in Mississippi.
That's right. And Senator Hyde-Smith has very closely associated herself with the president, so it's really set up as a referendum on President Trump. So Mississippi gets the national spotlight probably for that reason more than anything else.
Absolutely. We'll continue to watch those numbers. Right now we're going to go over back to Scott to get some look at some local races. Scott.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll check back in with you guys at 10 o'clock. Well, locally, the Chancery Judge race for District 14 has been a hot topic, and it's one that drew out a lot of voters, especially in the general election. A record number of absentee ballots and record turnout. Well, tonight, the runoff for District 14 Place 2, Carrie Jordan and Joe Studdard. Our Dory Talley, she joins us live in Columbus or in Lowndes County with more.
That's right, we're here at the Lowndes County Courthouse, and as you can see behind me, the numbers keep rolling in. So far, this race is there's seven different, rather than 7 votes are the difference between Joe Studdard and Carrie Jordan. Right now, we've got 13 precincts reporting. Carrie Jordan comes in at 4,113. Joe Studdard is coming in at 4,106. Super, super tight as we speak. Now, there are 21 precincts here in Lowndes County, but not all of those precincts vote for this runoff race. So far, 18 total precincts have been counted. So we're going to have a few more numbers coming in for this runoff race. But we've also got another big race, and that is happening right now with the District 14 1 race that covers Octibahaw, Chickasaw, and Webster counties. Both candidates rather, are from Octibahaw County. That's where we find our Riley Livingston standing by with the latest. Riley.
Thanks, Jory. I'm here in Octibahaw County, where we just got our first round of election results. We have about 13 out of 20 precincts reporting, and so far Rodney Favor is leading Leanne Turner. But we can't just look at Octibahaw County. We also have to consider Webster and Chickasaw County as well. And so far, Leanne Turner is actually beating Rodney Favor, even though it is by a close margin. Turner has 4,518 votes, while Favor has 4,473. Again, this is a very, very tight race, and these numbers are expected to change as more precincts turn in their ballots and as more counties get their votes in. We will be combining Octibahaw, Webster, and Chickasaw. We also have to take a look at absentee ballots. Here in Octibahaw County, we had over 800 absentee ballots that will not be counted until after all precincts are in. Now, during the general election, we had 3 candidates that were from Chickasaw County, and with those 3 out of the race, it might have had an impact on today's turnout in that county. We take a closer look at Chickasaw County with Quentin Smith, who is live in Houston.
Yeah, this race for Chancery Court Judge, District 14, Place 1, is a big deal here in Chickasaw County. In fact, during the election 3 weeks ago, 3 of the candidates on the ballots were from Chickasaw County. And as you can imagine, the voter turnout was high in that election. However, fast forward to today's runoff, neither of those candidates are on the ballots, but let me tell you, it didn't stop voters from coming out to cast their ballots. Workers tell me they've seen a steady flow of voters coming in all throughout the day to vote in this election. And the clerk even told me it's been a high voter turnout considering that this is a runoff. Now be sure to stay with WCBI both on air and online to stay up to date on all the latest results from this election. But for now, reporting live in Houston, Quentin Smith, WCBI News.
All right, thank you very much, Quentin, for that. Well, the 1st District Circuit Judgeship was also back on the ballot today with the retirement of Judge Tommy Gardner. This was an open race that drew a lot of interest, but came down between Assistant District Attorney Sadie Gardner and Attorney Kelly Mims. And you can see right there Kelly Mims in the lead. Now, since 2012, Gardner has served as the Assistant District Attorney for the 1st Judicial District. She's also a Millsaps College grad. Kelly Sims, just a tidbit about him, he has spent 30 years in the Armed Forces, 20 of those in the Mississippi National Guard as part of the 155th Armored Brigade. Lee County voters also had a county judge race on the ballot. Stacey Bevell and Tom McElroy were the top vote getters in the first round, and right now it looks like Stacey Bevell taking the lead. Now, Bevell is currently the Itawamba County Court Youth Administrator. Bevell has spent 4 years as a Lee County Court Administrator. McElroy, a Baldwin native, but there you can see Bevell taking the lead there. Well, the 1st Chancery District, Place 1, covers Alcorn, Tishomingo, Prentiss, Union, Pontotoc, Lee, Itawamba, and Monroe counties. Now, in this race, this is for Chancery Court District 1, Place 3. You can see there Brad Tennyson taking the lead there against Lisa Kuhn. Now, Brad Tennyson spent most of his years practicing law in the Chancery Court. He was also appointed by the 1st Chancery District Senior Judge to be over Prentiss County Youth Court some time ago. Well, Chancery Court Judge, Place 1, District 18, Place 1, Sarah Liddy and Larry Little. You can see Larry Little, rather. You can see there he taking the lead. Now, Little is a former district attorney for the 3rd Judicial Circuit. He held that spot for about 10 years and has since opened a law office in Oxford back in 2011. All right, well, time now to toss things over to meteorologist Jacob Riley, who has a first look at our Tuesday forecast. Hey, Jacob.
Hey there, Scott. It's already really cold out there. In fact, we're already below